Welcome to Cereals 2009. One of the key things here at this year's event has been applying liquid fertilizer while you're establishing an OSR crop. One of the pioneers of this system is Opico, and James Woolway here to talk us through his machine.
Hello. Right, this machine here is our integrated version, which means it's integrated with our Heaver subsoiler and VarioCar system, designed with a chassis around the headstock to keep it as close to the tractor as possible. What we've got is a 700 litre a minute pump, which allows us to self-fill in the middle of a field from a low-level IBC or other container, to filling then a 600 litre tank. The 600 litre tank, depending on the type of mix of liquid nitrogen and depending on the amount that we're putting on, should give us somewhere between 2/3 and a full day's worth of liquid nitrogen application. So away from the main farm buildings, enables us to do us a complete day's work without continually having to fill up. The system essentially uses a variable rate control, on the move adjustment to be able to tailor the amount of nitrogen you're putting down in individual parts of the field, but also ensure that as the subsoiler goes through a tighter area of the field or goes through an easier area of the field, it goes faster and slower, we're maintaining the same rate in exactly the same way as the VarioCar does for the seed. We have self-fill, as I said, a large pump which is then sort of effectively turned down for the actual application because we're putting a lot lower rates on. Rate control valve that splits off the amount we actually need to apply through the nozzles. The rest of it going back to the tank for agitation to keep all of the fertilizer mixed up so that nothing comes out of suspension. As you finish at the end of each bout, the machine shuts off the liquid nitrogen applicator in the same way as the seed, and then as we go down into the next bout, switches it back on again. Comes to a manifold. The liquid fertilizer comes to a manifold on the back of the machine, and is then spread down through the thin pipes to the individual outlets, and we're actually placing the fertilizer in a narrow band, 4 to 6 inches wide, on the soil in front of the subsoiler leg, so that it can get mixed in so as not to cause any scorch of the seed or seedling when the seed chits and starts to grow.
What sort of rates are we applying with this system?
Well, if you speak to typical liquid nitrogen sort of companies, there are a number of different products they recommend for oilseed rape depending on the soil type that you're going to put the rape into. Anything from 17-17-0 to a straight nitrogen N34, N30, N39. So the amount of nitrogen you put on obviously can vary quite dramatically depending on the product, but we're looking anything really from 20 litres a hectare right the way up to 150 litres a hectare. Really we're looking in terms of the actual kilograms of nitrogen at being able to, because we're band applying, put on a higher concentration in the area where the crop needs it, but nothing at all in between, which means keeping within NVZ limits and yet being able to apply say 50 kilograms, the equivalent of 50 kilograms a hectare, but directly where the seed needs it.